Hi everyone, it's Cédric. Today I'm diving into a big question. How can you get to owning 0.1 Bitcoin in just 1 year? How much cash will it take? And what is the best way to make it happen? A lot of folks will tell you to just use dollar cost averaging or DCA, basically buying a set amount regularly. And yeah, it's a solid plan. I often recommend it too. And 8 years ago when I saved up my first few Bitcoins, that's exactly what I did. But here is the thing. DCA sounds simple, maybe too simple. When Bitcoin, price swings, they can get wild. And sometimes you'll see some extreme ups and downs. So what do you do in these kind of situations? Imagine this. What do you do if, like, for example, you've got a plan to buy Bitcoin every Wednesday, but then Thursday hits and Bitcoin drops 20%. Should you jump in and buy more, or what? Or you're ready to buy on Wednesday, but Bitcoin is up 10%. Do you stick to the plan? Or the situation where Bitcoin skyrockets 30%. Your holdings are up. Do you cut back on buying, or maybe even sell a little bit, take some profits? What if the market keeps climbing or keeps crashing for months? Do you buy less? Do you buy more, or what? That's some good questions here. But you can see, even a straightforward DCA strategy gets tricky fast. So in this video, I'm not just showing you how to use DCA to hit that 0.1 Bitcoin goal in a year. I've also beefed it up with some dynamic adjustments to handle those market twists. And don't worry, I've kept it beginner friendly and avoided crazy complicated stuff. If you are a hardcore crypto trader, this might feel basic. Here you will not find any fancy range-based DCA, no custom indexes, no UTXO curves, 200-week moving averages, or greed and fear indexes strategy here. But for anyone new to Bitcoin who wants to just own 0.1 BTC, this method is dead simple and totally doable by anyone. And at the end of this video, I will do a screen recording, a screen share to walk you through a spreadsheet that makes this strategy a breeze. If you stick around and like what you see, you can even hit me up on Telegram and I'll share the spreadsheet with you. I've even baked in the formulas so you can hit your goal with minimal hassle. Nothing to do on your end, just filling it up, you'll see. But first, watch the whole video first because it will help you understand how to use it, how to use that spreadsheet like a pro. Oh, and by the way, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I've got plenty more cool stuff coming your way, just like this one today. So first, why am I even making this video? More and more people see Bitcoin's value and want in, but they are not sure how to start. Plus, here is a fun fact. Back when I first got into crypto years ago, the dream wasn't to own, how many Bitcoins. It was just too easy. But then, with years passing, the goal went to owning Bitcoins, to owning at least one Bitcoin. But now, with Bitcoin, price climbing higher and higher and getting rarer, 0.1 Bitcoin is worth about what 1 BTC was back then. People's goals have shifted from 1 BTC to 0.1 Bitcoin. Makes you wonder, years from now, will we be aiming for 0.01 Bitcoin? Pretty wild to think about, right? Alright, let's get into it. So first, you need about 10,000 USD in spare cash. Why that amount? It's based on some real numbers. Right now, Bitcoin is sitting at around 85,000. That's the price that Watcher Guru just told me on my phone. At that price, 0.1 BTC costs 8,500. But since Bitcoin tends to climb over time, you'll likely need a bit more to hit your goal in a year. Let's say Bitcoin jumps 30% in the next year, hitting about 110K. That number doesn't come out of my hat here, it comes from Michael Saylor's, his talk in Nashville last year. He said, from 24 to 45, we are expecting Bitcoin to grow about 30% per year on average. Sure, there will be ups and downs, but 30% yearly growth is a reasonable guess. So with around 10,000, you're in the ballpark to make this work this year. And using DCA, you can absolutely own 0.1 Bitcoin in 12 months. And bonus tip, if you want more or less than 0.1 Bitcoin, this method scales. Just tweak your investment up or down accordingly. So for the DCA plan, I'm keeping it simple with two options, weekly buys or monthly buys. So we want, can you see this whiteboard? So we want 0.1 Bitcoin. We can do weekly buys or monthly buys. Each has its pros and cons. You pick what vibes with you. For the first option, weekly DCA, you'd put in about 192 USD per week. If you are into keeping an eye on the crypto market and want to smooth out the risks, weekly is your jam. Plus, since you are buying every week, you can tweak your strategy faster when the market swings. That's the second part of this video and we'll get there soon, but first, that's really a good thing to do, I think. But if you want, you can also do that monthly DCA. Here, you will have to drop about 833 USD per month. All right, because it's 10,000 in 12 months. This monthly strategy is perfect if you are too busy to watch the market and just want a steady, hands-off approach. It's less stress, saves time, and might even cut fees, since platforms often charge less for bigger trades. Fewer transactions can mean better bang for your buck, especially for small amounts here. Fees can feel pretty big, but the downside, you are more exposed to short-term swings and you've got fewer chances to adjust. In short, if you just wanna chill and hold Bitcoin without fussing, go monthly. And if you are keen to optimize your costs, go weekly. Now for the big, second part of this video about dynamically adjusting your Bitcoin DCA, we'll build on the weekly plan. That doesn't mean monthly DCA won't work. The numbers just shift a bit, but the logic is the same. So let's get into it. Dynamic adjustments. Dynamic adjustment. What is the deal? Let's talk about that. It's all about having a game plan for when the market goes nuts. As I said in the beginning of this video, the key is clear. Adjustment rules, so you don't panic buy at peaks or miss golden dips. I have 4 super practical rules. Rule number 1, buy more on big dips. When Bitcoin drops over a threshold, say 7%, double your investment. We have a drop of 7%, double the investment. I've crunched some recent data. From February 3 to 10, 2025, Bitcoin went from 95,100 to 97,500, up 2.5%. But from February 24 to March 3, it crashed from 89,000 to 79,000, a 11.2% drop. A 3% threshold is too tight, 11 is too loose, so 7% just feel right. So if this week drop 7% compared to last week, we will double our weekly buy. So it will not be 192, but 384 USD. And if the drop is more than 15%, then we will triple the investment. So instead of 192, it will be 3 times 192, it's 576. If we have 30%, we can have more rules and keep adding on, just in case you have a situations like this. But a dip of more than 30% is pretty rare, but if it comes, you can do 5 times. So this one was 3 times, this one is 5 times. And how much is 192 times 5? It will be 960, if you have the spare cash, of course. 960. Then rule number 2, cut back on big rises. Bitcoin won't always tank, sometimes it moves. So we can have the same logic. If we have more than a 7% increase, so more than 7% increase, we will halve our buy. So instead of 192, we will just invest $96. Get it? And if it's more than 15%, 30%, stuff like that, we will just not invest. We don't want to buy the top. We will pause and watch the market. So this one will be watch the market. Rule number 3, lock in profits on crazy pumps. If we have, more than 30%, sell 10%. So it will be profits, P&L. More than 30% of profit, we will sell 10%. If you are more than 50% of profits, you can sell, so P&L, again, you can sell 20% of your position. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Rule number 4, stick to the plan in normal times. If the market just, is just bouncing around within 7%, don't mess with all that. Over tweaking adds complexity without much payoff. Just stick to the plan, tweak accordingly if needed, and nothing more. Alright, I will show you the table now that you can use, a spreadsheet that you can use here on my computer. Alright, it's recording. So here is a demo of how this works in a real market with my dynamic, adjustment spreadsheet. I threw in some random numbers. So this one is okay because Bitcoin just hit 85K, but next week and the weeks after that, I'm not sure. It's just to keep it simple and show you how it works. So these rules here, I put a reminder. They are based on today's video. You can tweak them to fit your style, like doubling down only on a 10% drop, if that's your thing. But the important thing is, once you set your rules, just roll with it. Once you set your rules, roll with it. It is a plan, you have to respect it. Why do we need this kind of stuff? Because otherwise, we will go with emotions. If Bitcoin has a sudden crash, flash crash, With that, you know what to do. You won't like panic sell. You won't FOMO in if there is like a bubble, like increase in 48 hours, because you have a plan. Once you have set your plan, just respect it. That's the most important takeaway of this video, I think. Have a plan, respect it. So let's dive in now. Say you are buying Bitcoin today, 85k, it's perfect. But you could change it. Let's say it's 86k today. You can see that everything is changing. The numbers shift, like the BTC holding and stuff like that, because I've put in the formulas. Next week, say Bitcoin hits like 89k. Everything changes again. And then that's nearly a 4% increase. So it's not more than 7%. So according to the rules here, we just stick with 192 investment. And you keep going in and you keep going with that. Like the following week here, we are at 77k, for example. It's more than 7%, less than 15%. So we just double down here, double the investment. Easy, just follow the rules every week. They are written black and white, just above. You can even like add notes here. You see here that we had more than a 60% here with everything I modified. So more than 60% floating P&L, we will sell 20%. All right, and everything updates accordingly. Profit greater than 60% this time, or 50% in the rules, yes, 50%. So we sell 20% of our position and we take some profit. Easy. So if you want this spreadsheet, just hit me up on Telegram. I'll send it over. The link is in the description. It's my personal Telegram. And if you got questions about it, find me there too and just ask me. And yeah, just stick to these 4 rules. And trust me, you'll hit 0.1 Bitcoin in a year, even probably making some profit on the way. This isn't, of course, financial advice. Before you dive in, make sure you get Bitcoin's risks and volatility. You understand that and only use money you won't need for the next 5 years, not your rent, not your mortgage money or grocery cash, of course. But yeah, you get it. Alright, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you did enjoy it and drop a comment below with what you want to hear next. I'll catch you in the next video. Merci et au revoir.